Hey everyone, welcome to Science-Based Fitness. Today we're discussing a topic I find really interesting. Is fitness becoming too focused on the science? If you find yourself on the fitness side of social media, you're probably well aware of some of the science-based content creators out there. People like Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Ether, Layne Norton, and there's a ton more. I wanted to make this video because I find some pushback sometimes in my own comments when I source a meta-analysis or a systematic review that has evidence that is contrary to popular belief. I think this creates some hostility in the evidence-based community, and I wanted to take a deeper dive into, are we focusing too much on the science? And I'll admit that science isn't perfect, but it is the best method that we have to disregard old concepts and implement new concepts. Now, my opinion on this is going to be somewhat biased, I understand, because I do make evidence-based fitness content, hence the name of the channel, Science-Based Fitness. I have a degree in exercise science, but I also think this gives me a unique perspective. Now, my philosophy around my workouts is always about optimization. I'll work out 5 or 6 days a week, and my focus is always to get the most out of my time. Now, my workouts aren't super long, usually 45 to 50 minutes. I'll have maybe one workout a week that hits over an hour and one workout a week that's around a half hour. But in that time frame, I always try to focus on using supersets where I go back and forth between two movements, utilizing ideal rep ranges, appropriate rest time, and challenging loads that allow me to get close to failure. I think most people would benefit immensely from just simply understanding some of these basic concepts and having a better grasp on the science and the research. But I think there can also be a downside to this, and let me explain an example that happened in my own workouts. When I first started working out, I would show up to the gym and just start crushing some arms, biceps and triceps, and then I would move to something like bench press or pull downs. So herein lies the problem. The triceps are an assisting muscle for the bench press. And this type of training can be referred to as reverse pre-exhaustion training, where you train a single joint movement that exhausts a synergist muscle like a tricep here, and then move into a compound movement, which requires that synergist muscle to aid in the exercise. The philosophy behind this is now that the assisting muscle is fatigued, you'll rely more on the major muscle. But in a hypertrophy meta-analysis, individuals using this technique actually saw a reduction in overall performance. It led to reduction in volume, which can have a negative impact on hypertrophy. And we can mitigate this problem by increasing the number of sets we do, but I think this is a good example of understanding some of the basic science and principles can help improve your workouts. Although this can get us too deep into the weeds. Now, for anyone that works out, it is inevitable. At some point, you will fall behind on your workout regimen. Now, on occasion, I would have a day that I do chest and triceps, but I wouldn't have enough time to finish my triceps, so I would skip out on that and hold it till the next day. That following day, I'd be training back and biceps, so I'd mix in triceps. But the following day, my triceps would still be sore. So if I did shoulder press, I feel like I wouldn't be able to maximize my loads. And this is where overthinking it can negatively affect your workouts. Another example, let's say you hit back on Monday and decide to skip legs Tuesday because your back is still a little sore and you know you're not going to be able to maximize the load that you can use on squats because of that fatigued lower back. Now, pushing anything off to the next day is never really a good solution. Of course, that doesn't mean if your shoulder hurts, just keep working out and push through it. Obviously, you have to listen to your body and train smart. What ended up happening was it became easier to rationalize skipping workouts simply because I was overthinking everything. So eventually, I had to take a step back, reevaluate the way I train and work out, and adapt new methods and some new techniques. At some point, we become so focused on those little details, and those details probably yield some of the smallest results overall. I'm a big fan of the YouTuber Jeff Nippard, and in one of his videos, he had a quote that always has stuck with me. And it was, I might butcher this, but I believe it was, don't major in the minors. And the point to that is there's a lot of little details. And if you spend most of your time focusing on those minor details, you'll forget about those major details. Or something like that. You can interpret it how you'd like, but I think that fits in really well with this conversation that we're having. For most people that are trying to be healthy, look good, and feel good, you don't need a degree in exercise science to accomplish that, or even to see progress in some results. Yes, I think you'll see better progress and results with understanding some of the basics. That actually makes me think I should do a series on just some of the basic tips for beginners and more advanced and intermediate tips. If you're interested in a video like that, I'll create that and then link that at the end of this video. So stay tuned and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. With all that being said, no, I don't think fitness is becoming too focused on the science. Even though most of us never have to worry about EMG data or understand a resistance profile of an exercise, we live at a time where professional, college, and even high school athletes try anything they can do to get an edge. A lot of this research and science is allowing people to become better and better every day. And similar types of exercise science can be applied to the medical field with physical therapists, in helping individuals rehab from injuries or even helping prevent injuries. And specifically in my field of personal training, when I have a client come to a gym and pay me and expect to get results, it's important that I can understand their goals. For example, if someone's trying to build glutes, understanding that a split squat, for example, has some of the highest EMG activation for the glutes, while it's an exercise that has the ability that I can load and it applies good tension throughout the range of motion. This fits the criteria for this client. It can yield them better results and it can yield me better results as a personal trainer. And I would think that the bodybuilding community would be one of the more excited groups about all this emerging exercise science, since our sport is so focused on the little details and how to improve upper pec development or build wider quads, whatever it may be. But the ability to have an ever-growing field where you can keep learning about different details behind fitness and science should excite people. And for those who don't care as much about it, that's fine. I think both groups can have their cake and eat it too, unless it's not your cheat day. That's fitness humor. I won't quit my day job. Back to seriousness. Unfortunately, with all of this science, there is some darker, more sinister sides to it, and that's bad faith actors. People that are misleading you intentionally or unintentionally and just misrepresenting the science. I've made a lot of statements on this channel about exercise and fitness, and I've sourced a lot of research over the years. And of course, I've made a few mistakes. I've deleted videos in the past, I've made corrections on videos, but I've never uploaded a video purposely misrepresenting a topic. I think a lot of these bad faith actors try to sell you on their workout programs, their supplements, and the fact that they tell you that they have the fix to whatever your problem is. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. But they do a really good job of masking everything in what looks like real science. And I understand that because it can be challenging to decipher what's good and what's bad. Now, just because someone sells workout programs doesn't mean they're bad. I sell those on my website. Just because someone sells supplements also doesn't mean they're bad. There's good supplements out there. And it might seem hypocritical of me to say this because I of course make money off these videos, although not enough, so if you hit that like and subscribe button, maybe we can bump that number up a bit. And I don't want to call out other creators for being bad or negative, but a few signs that I look for when I'm watching other content is, are people sourcing the research that they're discussing? A lot of times I'll go and just click into that research to make sure that they're actually conveying the point that the research in the study is mentioning. It can be challenging to know who you should be following, so in the description I've linked some of my favorite YouTubers who I think do a really good job of explaining the science in a way that is easy to digest. I definitely think they're worth a watch. You should head over and check out some of those creators so you're better informed on these topics. That video I mentioned on the basics is right here. YouTube thinks this video up here is going to be your favorite of my content. If you guys enjoyed this, hit that like, subscribe button. You know the drill. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.